Screen actors, today's video is going to go into some, I will say, maybe dangerous territory. This is a topic that I don't often hear discussed in most acting classes. It is that acting, great acting that is, must be amoral. You're going to find out in this video just why. Then you're going to see examples of actors who were able to bring that amorality to the game and the results that they got. Then we're going to go into even riskier, more taboo territory in the world of acting. And finally, I'm going to show you two stunning examples of the range that you can achieve when you approach your acting without moral judgment. I'm Louis DiBianco and my channel is Screen Acting Success. If this is your first time here, definitely click subscribe. And hey, give the video a thumbs up. Okay, so amoral behavior, or let's say an amoral attitude. What does that mean? Let's look at the definition of the word amoral. It literally means to be unconcerned with the rightness or wrongness of something. Then there's another word which sounds the same or similar, but is very different in meaning. Immoral. Immoral means that you will have a knowledge of something being right or wrong, and maybe you know it's wrong or you believe it's wrong, but you'll do it anyway. Very different. Here's the main difference. It's one of belief. When you're immoral, you believe that something is wrong and you do it. When you're amoral, you suspend your belief altogether and don't even form a moral judgment. So let's look at why, when you come into the arena of your acting space, you're going to create a character, you should leave your morals outside the room, on the other side of the door. You see, here's the problem. In life, we, most of us anyway, will choose to be respectful of others, to be kind, to be good human beings, and live a good, upstanding, rather ethical life. But are great scripts written about, well, let's say Sally or Joan gets up in the morning, has breakfast after she brushes her teeth, goes to work, has a very productive day at work, treats all of her colleagues with tremendous kindness, comes home, has dinner, watches TV, and goes to bed? Huh? No, I don't think so. Most films, this includes comedies, deal with behavior that is outside the norm, that breaks the rules. And often, the very interesting characters that you will be called on to play and that you'll probably want to play will be people that in life we judge as bad, as evil, as immoral human beings. So if you bring your moral judgment to the character, when you start developing the character, here's what's going to happen. A wall is going to fall down out of the sky and stand between you and your character. This will happen probably unconsciously, which is really bad, because then when you actually perform the role, it's going to be cliche. Your behavior, your choices will be general, and it's going to feel to an audience like it's not that real. It's going to feel a bit fake. What happens when you don't approach your character with any moral judgment at all? Well, chances are your performance will be original. Your choices will be very specific, and The character will have a three-dimensional human life, will feel authentic and real to an audience and be very satisfying to them, and it'll be very gratifying to you to play that kind of character. Now let's take a look at some examples of great actors who had to play characters that we could easily judge very strongly with our moral judgment, but they brought no morality to the game, to the creative process. Marlon Brando and Robert Duvall, both in Godfather Part 1. Of course, Brando played Don Corleone, the head of an empire of crime, responsible for not only a lot of criminal activity, but really crimes against humanity, including murder. And yet, from the moment he appears on the screen, we fall in love with him. We feel our hearts go out to him. We don't want to see anything bad happen to him. Why? Because Brando never judged that character. He didn't play a gangster. He played a human being who didn't see himself as evil, a human being who saw himself as the father, a loving father, a responsible father, who was doing everything for the benefit and the safety and the future of his beloved family. Very, very different than playing a moral judgment of someone. Let's jump to Duvall, because that's a very interesting character. Duvall plays a lawyer. He only has one client, Don Corleone. All of his business is about defending the Don and defending the Corleone family, and he knows that they're criminals. He has no problem with it. If he has to protect them when they've killed someone, his heart goes out to them, and he does it willingly and lovingly. Now, it would be easy for an actor to look at that and say, what a despicable human being this Tom Hagen is. I mean, he says he's a lawyer, supposed to stand for justice, for things that are good, for what's right. And yet, he defends criminals. One major criminal, and he's actually okay with what they do. Okay? If the actor were to approach, not like Duvall did, but approach the character of Tom Hagen like that, we would feel it in the way he said his lines. We would feel that he knows that he's doing something creepy, that he's doing something unclean, and we would be not drawn to the character. I'm mentioning this because, well, if you haven't seen the film, definitely see it. One of the greatest films of all time. And you'll notice how Duvall is such a beautiful human being. Never once did I feel that he was doing anything evil, because to the character, he did not see himself as evil. He saw himself as the loyal. As a matter of fact, his backstory is that he was an orphan and he was living on the street. Don Corleone found him when he was a child, felt sorry for him, took him into his family, and made him one of his own. So he feels a tremendous loyalty to the man who not only saved his life, but gave him a livelihood, brought him up, and treated him with great kindness. So the amoral stance is so important. Now, let's take a look at what it's like. We're going to up the ante a bit. The stakes are going to get higher. What if you get a script and your character is not just conventionally, let's say, doesn't break the rules, that simply break conventional rules of morality, like, you know, a lawyer who's corrupt, but strays into taboo territory. A great film to watch for this is the film Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights is a very wonderful human look at the porn industry in America. It focuses on porn stars, their lives, their struggles, their reality as people. Now this could be a problem especially for young women who have a certain sense of their of ethics when it comes to sexuality. Let's say you're a monogamous person involved in a monogamous relationship, and you're going to play a woman who, for a living, might sleep with 2, 3, 6, 10 people or more in the course of a day for money. How would you do that without bringing moral judgment to the game? So let's take a look at the actresses who were in that film, the lead actresses, the prominent ones. Julianne Moore, who, by the way, I've heard her interviewed, and she sees herself as a good girl. But when she plays bad girls, ooh, is she ever bad. So she plays a porn star named Amber Waves. And she plays her without any moral judgment at all. As a result, we're drawn to Amber Waves in more ways than one. Yes, she's very sexy, but we're drawn to her heart, her humanity. And that's the difference between a good performance and a great one. Then there's Heather Graham, who plays a young porn star named Roller Girl. She goes everywhere on her roller skates. And she is a young, was going to call her prostitute. She's not a prostitute. She's a porn queen. And then there's the wonderful Meryl Walters, who plays another porn star named Jessie St. James. I believe it's St. James. And she, again, no moral judgment when she plays her character. I had the great opportunity to work on a film with Meryl Walters, a movie called Wise Girls, also starring Mariah Carey and the wonderful Mira Sorvino. And I had great conversations with Melora, where she took me inside, behind the scenes, to life on the set of Boogie Nights and the research that they did. They actually went to porn shoots and watched them film pornographic movies. She made friends with a porn star named, she's in the film actually, she plays a small but important role in the movie. It'll come to me in a moment. And this porn star, who's extremely well known, used to be a midwife, and Melora had a very young child that she used to bring to the set. And she said, when she wasn't shooting, this other actress, this porn actress, Nina Hartley is the porn actress, would babysit and take care of her child. And did she have any anxiety about that? Absolutely not. Why? Because Nina Hartley, when you get past the moral judgment, is a human being just like you and me. So there's a lot for you to think about here, but really examine this. You see, when I used to direct actors, especially student actors, I would often see that without realizing it, they would be playing the judgment of a character, which means they'd be playing an attitude instead of specific behavior. They'd be playing certain character traits that they thought that kind of person had, instead of just finding the heart, soul, and intention of the character. And once I made them aware of it, there was a tremendous shift, and their characters took on a whole new life. And now, I want to focus on two incredible actors. By the way, did I mention already? Oh, you know what? I don't think I did. Sorry. I mentioned Duvall and Brando. But I didn't mention Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron, when she played Monster, a true story about a woman who was once a prostitute and was a lesbian, falls in love with a young woman, gives up prostitution for a while, and becomes a serial killer when she goes back to prostitution because she does it just to get the money, and then she kills the Johns because she hates them. That's an easy character to judge. And I mean, the title alone, Monster, there's the danger. If Charlize Theron had played her as a monster and not as a person, her performance would not have had the depth, the impact, the authenticity that it had, and she probably wouldn't have been nominated and won an Academy Award for that performance. Now, I want to focus on two amazing actors, Meryl Streep, and all I want you to do is take a look at this montage of some of the incredibly different characters she's played. Some good, some bad, some probably very, very bad. And notice that she even played a rabbi, and she was totally convincing as a man. Why? Because Meryl brings no judgment. No judgment, no moral judgment to her work. And the other is Gary Oldman, a true chameleon, disappears in the roles that he plays. And you see the range of his work, where he'll play a meek individual with truth, with a deep authenticity. He'll play a vicious individual. He actually did play Sid Vicious in Sid and Nancy. And he plays violent characters and gentle characters. And he even played Winston Churchill, and he was not recognizable in the role. These are examples of what's possible for you when you suspend your moral judgment, not in your life, but in your art, in your work. That's part of your discipline, your technique. I would suggest that the moment you begin to read a script, that you actually do an exercise where you say, okay, this is Joseph, or this is Catherine, and I have these strong values, but I'm playing a character for whom these values do not matter at all. And I'm going to find the human connection to this person and approach them with empathy. This approach will not only make you a much better and compelling actor, it will make you a better person. How? Because it will force you to develop that important human quality that makes the difference between wonderful living and not so wonderful living, the quality being compassion. You will bring compassion, empathy and compassion to your work. If you've gotten value from this, share it. Share your takeaways in the comments below. And if you haven't already subscribed, do it now. And please give the video a thumbs up. I'm going to be doing another interesting video very, very soon, where we're going to be looking at things like, well, it's one of the videos I'm going to be bringing you soon, how a piece of costume, piece of wardrobe can suddenly transform how you feel about your character and how you play that character. I'm going to leave in the description below a link to the my latest online course called Screen Acting. No, it's not. It's called Self-Taping Mastery, because, as you know, self-taping is not only the norm right now, but it's here to stay. You want to be able to do it so that you will be able to book more and more great roles and be a working actor in demand. So take a look at what I'm offering. There are a lot of bonuses, and if you feel that it's for you, I will love to see you inside the course and support your growth and success. If you don't feel if it's for you, then I'm going to consider you a bad person. I'm going to make a moral judgment about you. And on that note, until the next video, always feel it, say it, mean it, book it.